I like that you mentioned that you don't just do anything. That's how you know that you're really passionate about it. It's not just about, you know, money or clout or whatever the case. You really take the time to indulge and take in what you're putting your time and your energy into. And that's super important because it makes the creative process enjoyable for not only yourself, but really working with whoever you work with, because you want to work with people that can see the vision with you and that have a good vision with you. You don't want to work with somebody that gives a lot of like tug and pull. But when you have a good creative flow together and you're working on something that you feel connected to and that you want to be a part of, it just makes the whole process so much more enjoyable. So is there anything that you have? So sorry, my cat. Sorry,
no
I don't know
problem.
if you saw that. I don't know if you saw that.
No, listen, this is real. Look at this is real life. Don't. It's all good. Don't worry about the cat.
I'm like,
you know,
look at this girl. If you see this girl, I don't know if you saw her.
She wants her
She's
camera
like whipping her tail around me.
Your
and everything.
cat's tripping on you. You're not focused on her. She's like wondering why are you not paying attention
exactly.
to me?
That's both of my
Let me
pets.
see what's
she
going
just came
on.
up here for me to pet her, and my dog got jealous, and then she hopped down to fight him a little bit. So, anyways, I'm really excited, and I know that there's so many people that have seen the interviews and they know who Motown is, and they want to see the music video and with RBX and everything that's coming out. So with that being said, do we have anything else? Do you have anything else that, yes, that's what I meant. With that being said, do you have anything else that we can look forward to and get excited about when it comes to your work, your creativity? What's next?
The Respect the West video, because listen, that was, I took a epic film approach with this project. So the first verse was shot, my idea was that was shot just for the desert, the bikes, and the grime grit. Then on the flip side, when we got to the RBX and then we got to his third verse, we wanted to do it West Coast style also. So Motown pulls up in this brand new Rolls Royce convertible. I mean, it's beautiful. It's white, black interior, convertible. I mean, it looks like, you know, you died and went to heaven or something, you know. So we had this, and that type of prop is almost just as important as the artist. It's got to be respected. So we basically shot in Long Beach on the side of the pier where, like, you know, the Port of Long Beach. And so we had like a real industrial field with, you know, you got the ships coming in. We literally got a big tanker passing by with the container. So that kind of represented the industry, the wealth of California, the wealth and everything symbolically.
Absolutely.
So, and we had like, they were suited and booted. We went from the desert. Awesome. We went from the desert to dress up. And so
it's gonna be nice.
You basically get that Cali lifestyle where you can be, you know, we're one of the few places where you can be in the snow, in the desert, in the beach, and in wine country, you know, in a matter of hours.
So this sounds great.
So
yes.
I tried to, my goal was to accentuate that in the video, to really, like, you know, bring that home, that idea. And so we pretty much take you, it's like this video is like a little epic movie where we take you on the journey.
Mm-hmm. I like the vision. The vision sounds amazing. I cannot wait to see it. So as far as we're bringing this interview to a close, is there any advice that you have for someone who wants to get into a career field such as yours when it comes to videography, filming, music, any of the things, any advice that you would give on how they could get started?
Yeah, get started. And what I mean by that, you know, seriously, on the serious tip, one of the things that helped me the most was I had a love for the movies. I watched one of the things, it was Inside Man Inside Man, the movie that Spike Lee did, that DVD had the director's cut. So I would say to
Oh,
them, if they're
yes.
starting to
I'm a huge
film,
Spike Lee fan, by the way, so
yeah,
would
of
love to hear
course.
it.
You know, the director, get your old DVDs because they don't got it online on streaming,
Right.
but you got to get the old DVDs with study those director's cuts. That's my number one thing. Also, you're going to actually have to start digging. I mean, you're going to have to do editing, you're going to have to shoot. So basically, you know, it's like you're going to be a one-man band. So you got to, but the technology is there.
Now
for
these kids
you.
have an overload of information and overload of technology. It just takes really knowing how to use it. Would you agree?
Right.
And use
so
it
I
to
would
your
say
advantage.
start off small. Start off
Mhm.
with like one of those $100 editing softwares and
Right.
start editing. And then, because that's what happened to me when I got into the editing, I was shooting my off and getting camera angles, but then, I didn't want to wait for someone else to cut my film. And then at the same time, they end up cutting what they missed oh my God, this is the most important part, and you just cut it, So I decided, hey, I got to do this myself. So I basically started with the basic beginners editing software, and after that opened my eyes up so I could go to the heavy duty stuff like the Adobe and Final Cut and all that stuff. Once I had the basics of running that, it takes man hours. That's one of the things I have. I have a lot of man hours behind the camera and
Right.
in that studio. So trial and error. So I would say just get started, do something small and start. Just basically start. You don't have to have a $10 million camera and a big budget to go do something. There's people that are making quality stuff with little or nothing. So it really takes just you having the desire. How bad do you want it? And
Right.
you just go out there and you start.
This is very true. And I like that. The first thing that you said was, oh my gosh, sorry, 1 second. The first thing that you said was to get started. And all the rest that followed was really, really great advice and information, by the way. So.
Listen, let me share.
These are almost like.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
Can I share something? With that, let me tell you what's going to happen is this. You may get discouraged because once you start biting off this apple, you start realizing this apple is huge. I can't eat all this. So, and what I mean by that is once I got editing, once I started shooting, I ended up finding out, oh, well, my computer's not strong enough. I got to get a bigger computer. I got to get more RAM. I got to get more processing power. I need more storage. And so then you're going to have so many obstacles and hurdles. It's almost like algebra and math. You're going to have an X factor in there, a variable, and it could be anything. X can be anything, right? In algebra. So in this case, just remember there's going to be some obstacles to slow you down or whatever. You just got to keep getting over those hurdles. For example, when I started, we had to do FireWire. So we plug in the camera to the computer, and you got to literally play your video footage and record it on the computer. Now, we can pop in the SD card and it's bam, it's done. So, although basically you're going to just have to do trial and error, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of
work.
A lot of work. Yeah.
But it'll be worth it. And so last couple of questions. They're fun questions. Okay, so this or that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you prefer mint or fruit? Fruit, okay. Fruit's good. And then also, if you could pick 2 fruits, what would your 2 fruits be and why?
Well, first of all, I'm still baffled by the mint and the fruit. I don't know. They don't eat. they're not equal. You literally mean mint, like the leaf mint you put in mojito, right?
Yes.
Well, I do love mojitos, but yeah,
Mojitos are good.
yeah. Well, yeah, I would say the fruit though, because the fruit, the fruit feeds the soul. You know,
Fruit feeds the soul, and
feeds the
you
soul.
can live off of fruit.
You know,
You can do something you can do things with mint, but you can live off of fruit. You can be stuck on an island, grow fruit or fry fruit and live.
Right. So. Right. Well, the two fruit, I would say, I like plums, and I would say plums and grapes.
Good. I haven't had a plum in a really long time. Those are good fruits. Okay, so your next question. Out of films, would you choose horror or comedy?
Ooh, horror or comedy? Comedy, of course.
Comedy is good for the soul. And so why do you choose comedy?
Comedy, because comedy, okay, listen, this is why. Me personally, there's so much stuff in the world. You can turn on the news and you can see horror. But comedy, can be uplifting. You can walk, your mood will be elevated, especially if it's actually funny. Whereas a horror flick, a horror flick is a downer, or, like I said, there's so much evil in the world. I kind of I don't mess around with horror flicks, really.
That's a good explanation for that. So much evil in the world that you don't, that is really good. This is actually a really good answer. So with that said, everybody, you heard it all. We are super excited. I really enjoyed talking to you, by the way, about your.
Well, you got to let me say one thing,
videography. Though. Yeah.
I got to add something. Listen, I want to tell you that it was a privilege. It was an honor and a privilege to work with Motown. He's at the top of my list of one of the best, the professionals to work with, because he has he's a thespian. He has acting career and everything, as well as this music. And when I worked with him, one of the things I experienced the professionalism, and I appreciate that, because so many things don't always pan out when you do a big production and you got all these different people you're depending on, waiting on. And he was able to just go through it. It didn't push him one way or the other. He was able to be, he was able to accept everything and roll with it and change whatever changes came. He didn't fly off the handle. He didn't panic. He trusted me with it. That's the biggest thing. He trusted me with his project, and that I appreciate. I perform better. You get the most out of me when you show me that whether you trust me, you give me your project to me, and that's what I want to say. It was a pleasure to work with him. His publicist is also she's an asset to him. She really, she's awesome. And the whole team that worked with us was awesome. They really dedicated you got to remember, we out in the desert in California, in the Phelan, that's the high desert. We're in 100-degree weather, high noon. It wasn't no 6 a.m, although I wanted it to be, but it was. We were out in the elements, and so everybody sacrificed. He stood there, no matter how many takes I needed. Even when I knew he was beat and ready to take a break, I'm like, no, Monty, I need one more. Come on. And he would do it. And so that's the professionalism that I'm talking about.
Awesome. And that's so great. And I really, really appreciate your time. I thank you for even just saying all that you just said about working with Motown the way that you have. And that just shows that you guys have a real creative connection. It's a team of people that really enjoy what they're doing, are excited about what they're doing, and have a lot of creativity and love to put into the project. And I'm really excited to see it, because when you have an environment like that, that's when all the good magic happens. And so with that being said, I really, really, really want to thank you. so much for interviewing with us. It's been a pleasure. I am, you know, honestly, like really, I love the fact that I even get to do this. And I thank you, Donn, for inviting me on to do this. And like I said, thank you so much for your patience, getting to know you as far as the little bit of time that we've had, as far as like your level of expertise in all these creative areas. It's awesome being able to live a life.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because listen, to your viewers that you asked that question about what it takes, like what advice would I give them? Listen, you know, I had to wear more than one hat because I had to get it done. And it all I can tell you is that I know everybody's job. So now that I don't have, now at this point, I don't have to do all the hats now, and I have a team and everything like that. I really know what to expect. I know what's supposed to be. When he's not doing his job, I know he's not doing his job. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm thankful that I had to do all that to get to where I am now.
That's awesome. And that's actually good wisdom. That's really good wisdom to give. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this exclusive interview with Mario T-1. I want to thank you so much for your time and all your wisdom given on your videography, your filming, your mixing, your mastering, and all the many hats that you wear when it comes to the creative realm of things. And we are looking forward to the up-and-coming video that's going to be so awesome and epic to watch with Motown OG Alkaline and the legendary RBX. Thank you so much, and tune in again, everybody.